All right, before we get to the last question, I just want to throw this thing at you because completely unprompted, but I saw the name in that we would eventually talk about. We didn't get to this time. We briefly talked about him during the Jimmy Rave discussion in the past. CM Punk. If you had to give a prediction for CM Punk's future, I'm just going to throw it at you right now. It could be good, whatever you think. Just a random prediction.
Honestly, my prediction is I hope he's happy. If he finds happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I love Punk.
That's cool.
I don't know if I've told this story. If I have, you could cut me off. When Punk, when I first started getting my buzz on the indie scene in '04, Punk and Jimmy were really close. They were really, really close. And so by proxy, Punk and I became friends. And Punk was always very open to giving me critiques, which I appreciated because I mean, this is the guy. Like, there was no doubt when he walked into a room, like, oh, that's going to be the guy one day, right? Like, you just knew. Uh, and so Punk was always like, hey, if you want to send me something, I'll watch it. So I did. And he'd give me critiques, and I'd send him something else, and he'd watch it. He'd give me critiques. And this went on through his whole indie run. And then he gets signed and goes to OVW. Send me stuff. So I did. And he'd give me critiques. And then he gets called up to the main roster. And I send him stuff and he gives me critiques.
Wow.
And I mean, this goes on from '04 to, whenever. And finally, one day I'm like, hey, man, what do I owe you? Like, let me buy you a video game or buy you dinner or whatever, man. Like you've done a lot for me, totally unprompted. And he said, "Oh, the only thing you can do for me is pay it forward."
That's awesome.
And I've always I take that's one of the reasons why I love the position I'm in with the NWA is because I'm getting to pay it forward. Right? Like I took those words straight to heart. So where he ends up, who knows? But I hope he's happy. I genuinely hope wherever he lands in a happy place because he deserves it.
Very cool. Very